All right, guys, welcome. Welcome to today's market wrap up on Friday at Bretton Financial Trading Academy. So I just want to say thank you for your time in attending this webinar, and we'll be giving it a bit of a wrap up in terms of what have actually happened in the week. Also, to answer your questions, if you've got any questions, especially with your trades, a bit of troubleshooting. A lot of traders would like to know, where certain pairs are actually going, whether or not they should close their trades for today and then just continue trading again on Monday onwards and various other things. So we can actually look at that as a summary of your entire trade for the week. And if you've got anything to share as well, feel free to do so. So let's take a look very quickly with what's going on the Euro USD, because the Euro USD, obviously, it's on trading at the moment. It is actually live on the signals that I've actually given out as well. But in summary, in this market wrap up, I must say that for the Euro USD, it's looking still good. We've got some correction is still going on, but in terms of trend wise, it is still to the downside for Euro USD. I know it has triggered the 1.1790 area. I think if you have entered at 1.1790 or earlier, you are still on profit. Not too much on profit, but then we're seeing more potential for it to go downwards. Now, the situation that is fueling the whole negativity or bearishness of the euro at the moment is what's going on in a few countries in the eurozone, especially Germany, Italy, France, on the lockdown and various other things that are actually weighing down the euro against all the other currencies. So, but the special thing to know is that sometimes it doesn't actually happen straight away when there's a negative news or something that they are trying to solve and things like that. It doesn't just pull down euro straight away, but then it might actually be giving us a lot of hints that problems yet not solved. We also got the current oil situation at this moment. Oil has actually gone up, right? And it has to do with the Suez Canal. There's some containers that have actually fallen or something like that and blocked the canal. So blocking the canal basically impacts three major importers and three major exporters. So you've got your exporters. There are three major ones. I think they are Russia as well, US as well, and then you've got buyers. You've got China, India, and South Korea as the buyers. So that's actually pulling down their profit potential as well and stuff like that. So hence the reason we see the oil price sort of pushed up and then down and stuff like that, because there's a lot of things that they are solving at this moment. So we got volatility caused by that. So now we've got volatility that will be causing a euro to actually go up and go down as well. But then it's the bias is more to the downside for the euro. When it concerns euro on the lockdown, what happens is really interesting. The USD becomes a safe haven as well. So it's not only about the positivity and the COVID situation that is good with the vaccination in the US, but it's also about it becoming the safe haven because of what's happening in Europe, what's happening in the UK as well because of the COVID situation. So the European bloc and the UK, for example, and Switzerland and all these countries, when something is not right happening in these countries or this kind of zone and continent, then USD becomes a safe haven. Okay, so this is very important for us to understand that, and this is why I still believe that there is more chances of euro going down. Okay, so let's look at it at a better perspective. I want to clear all the noise on the euro USD first. Give me a second. Let me just pull out a new chart right here with less noise. Delete that as well. Okay, so let's look at the euro once again here. Okay, Okay. So looking at the euro from a technical perspective, I'm looking at it on the daily chart. If you guys have got any questions in the middle, just let me know. No problems, you can ask. And here for the euro, let's just take a look at trend analysis first before we go back. We'll go back to the heat maps and various other things. So here on the euro itself, if we look at price action, we're looking at 1.1782, right? So 1.1782, if it goes up, you're looking at again that area that is really significant resistance and support, which is 1.18, right? 1800. So what I would do is I want to draw two lines at psychological level as well. 1.1800, that's on the upside. 1800 right there. Okay, so I've got that area right there, and then below this area here you've got 1780 and you've got 1750. So let me just draw 1750 first, okay, as a psychological level, because 1.1780 is just too close, only 2-3 pips away, but I want the current price to be trapped in between two psychological levels, which are the 1.1800 and 1.1750. Okay, so let's look at these areas. So now what's happening is that price is sort of not trapped, but then trading sort of sideways in within that range of between two psychological levels, 1.1800, 1.1750. So as a conservative trader like myself, I would prefer for it to break down 1.1750, and then I can actually see a lot of momentum, I think. Now, the reason why I say I could possibly see some momentum, especially after the 1.1750 area, is that we need to look to the left and look at the behavior of previous traders in the past. Okay, so in that yellow line right there, the top yellow line, we want to look at previous price and candles, whether or not in the past we have seen any long bearish candle, a single bearish candle that crosses through these two yellow lines. We basically will show that in the past there has been a lot of interest in that zone. Now I can see that on, let me just show you guys here, on the 13th of October last year, we had some very strong bearish power right here. But this bearish power with a single candle didn't start at 1.1800, but start a little bit lower. And that starting point was here, okay? The opening price was at 1.1791. So 1.1790, let's say, right? And that also sort of coincided or matched with some other resistance level right there, and this resistance level here became a support, and all kind of correlation that it has actually made. So in my opinion, we have got a lot of selling interest in this area from now onwards, 1.1780 area right down to this area right here at 1.1760. So yes, we should be seeing more selling. As lower as it gets, the faster it will actually go down, mainly because if you look to the left here, you've got one single bearish candle there. You look to the right, another single bearish candle there. So you can see that it's laid out or lined up with some selling power in almost the same area here. Okay, so you've got one right there. Let me just, you've got another one right there. We're talking about only a single bearish candle. Okay, the mother, it's called mother candle, and it's the body length of the candle itself. So there is where we can actually roughly think that there may be more selling power. So this is how we want to look at. Now we've got another one right here, but it's a little bit shorter than the ones that I have actually highlighted. So as we go to the right here, okay, you can see that as it comes into this zone, you have more longer candles. So it's a good indication so far. Okay, it's a good indication. Now, that is for those who are still wondering about Euro USD. We'll also go on to GBP USD, and we want to look at what's going on with GBP USD as well. Okay, but before we go on to GBP USD, let's now go back to the fundamentals side of it. Let me just go on to my heat map. All right, so here, for example, we get a little bit of an idea of bullishness on other currencies against the dollar. So dollar is sort of weakening right now, okay, especially when it comes into the European session and the American session. It looks like there may be a bit of a correction. So this would actually then make some traders believe that, oh, gold is going up. But overall, USD is still on the strong side, mainly because it needs to act as a safe haven because of what is going on in Europe, in the UK as well. Things are not really going as planned in terms of the vaccination and in terms of lockdown and in terms of cases that are growing at the moment in Europe, European countries like Germany, France, and Italy. So they are now at the moment in the news and all that in the local languages in Europe, in French or in Italian and all that. They're talking about the emergence of the corona again. So now the news is not really going very well in terms of corona locally in their local language. Okay, so that is now pushing the USD to be the safe haven. So maybe there is a potential where USD is becoming weaker now, only to pick a nice support to actually push up again. So then the push up will actually be much more depending on what's going on fundamentally, geopolitically, and all that coronavirus things in the other parts of the world, which are in Europe especially, and in the UK. Okay, so here, this is what we're looking at. We're also looking at a lot of positivity in terms of currencies that are against the CHF. That basically means CHF is also weaker. Okay, so you got CHF on the weak side, and then we've also got Euro is a little bit on the mixed at this moment of time. So, okay, we've got questions here. Okay, right. Testing 1, 2, 3. You guys can hear me better? All right. I think. Let me just give me a second, guys. Yeah. Let me check whether or not we have got better sound here. I think now should be okay. You guys can hear me much better now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, good. All right. So I'll make sure the next time that I adjust that on Zoom itself as well, because sometimes I adjust it only on the computer and my microphone. Okay, good. So now it's loud and clear. Brilliant. Okay, so in terms of all these that we can actually see, I just want to confirm the euro situation at this moment of time in terms of trend. As you can see, euro USD, not much participation at the moment. Hence the reason you're seeing a very a slowdown. Maybe they're waiting for the US Open first, so I'm not really sure, but it's sort of slowed down in terms of participation of traders and investors. Trend wise, still biased to the downside, but participation is creating volatility, and that's when you can see your real money. You can see that the candles are moving, and then your profits start building up, or your losses also start building up. It's only with volatility. At the moment, there's no volatility with the Euro USD, and only because you see it's a very short tight bar at the moment on the Euro USD. What's having an increased volatility is the Euro AUD. So you've got Euro AUD right here. Second, minimize chat. Okay. Yes. All right. Got it. Okay. Now it's okay, right? Okay, so the other thing as well is Australia related crosses. not Australia related crosses, sorry, the JPY related crosses. So all the JPY crosses here looks like it's got a lot of volume, a lot of participation, especially with NZD JPY, GBP JPY, AUD JPY. So now let's go back to the another heat map on Action Forex, and just to look at areas that we can focus on in terms of opportunities and what to trade today, for example. So 4 hour chart, I just want to look at a bird's eye view, and indeed it is also showing that everything against JPY is strong. So JPY is really weak. So we've got your CHF and JPY, both safe havens, very weak. Okay. If we go back to the gold and just look at gold itself, it has actually fallen quite a bit as well for gold, and it is still finding resistance, but we've got a lot of lower highs as well. So that is still giving us more indication of downward spiral, and only because they are still expecting US dollar to actually be stronger for many reasons. And one of the best reasons I can find is it's the safe haven for what's going on in Europe, as I've mentioned, and the UK on coronavirus issues. So with that, let us go back here. Now here we have got most currencies against the JPY, most currencies against the NZD is really weak. So NZD is actually on the strong side. So let's go individually. If I go on to Europe, on Euro, sorry, on the Euro crosses, I don't see a column that is really clear, either dark blue or dark red. But on the USD side, I see USD JPY to actually be strong again. So USD JPY very bullish across most of the time frame, from 4 hour right up to the monthly chart. And JPY, again, here you got USD, you got one column all dark red. Let's look at other columns that are steady with all dark red or dark blue. We have got CHF, CAD. So CAD, CHF may be an opportunity there. We don't know that until we go into the chart and check for ourselves. So CHF, CAD, we want to keep that in mind. And then we want to go and look at, so CAD, CHF, CHF is really weak. CAD, CHF, let's just give it a bit of a look and to see whether or not it's really bearish. We've got USD JPY, as you can see, it's picking up now quite well in the 4 hour chart. It is doing well in terms of being quite bullish. You look at the nature of the candle's body itself is quite strong. If you've got the wick at the very top is short or no wick, that means it's got more room to go up. Okay, so but the main thing is not to get overly excited on that because you want to look at where are the potential reversal or resistance level. So we can spot that immediately there at 109.57. So that's very close to 109.50 area. So it's probably best at 109.40 or 109.45. Best to actually go out or exit your trade, because mainly it is approaching some very significant resistance zone, because this area here has caused the USD JPY to fall at about 700 pips in the past. So that whole fall is about 720 pips fall from that high down here. So you don't want to mess with that kind of fall, okay? But not only that, this area right here has a opening price of a bullish candle as well, and it went down that time 800 plus pips. So again, this zone here with very large what do you call that, bearish body of candle is telling you not to mess around there, because if you are in a trade right now and you are buying already, it's good to actually be happy with it and exit now if you can, or exit just before it enters this area right here, which is very close. So only to actually take your buy a little bit more later on, but not to actually keep your trades open for today, because you may get some surprises on Monday. So if you're already profiting from USD JPY buy, then close it as soon as you can and just get ready for next week's trade, and not to leave your trades open and wishing that it might go up. It probably would go up again, but then who knows, right? It could actually be a gap down instead, and then go up, and then you'll actually be in float. So just to keep you safe, it's probably best for you to exit, and then you plan again to buy when market open on Monday. Okay, so there you go. All right, guys, that's on USD JPY, but we were about to look at CAD CHF. So I want to take that on CAD CHF. Let's look at CAD CHF, whether or not from the technical perspective, in terms of trend as well, is showing us a good chance to buy the CAD, and whether or not it is actually strongly bullish. So we go on to the 1 hour chart. Maybe I'll just start 30 minutes as well. I just want to look at the nature of how it goes. As you can see, it's already communicating some possible reversal. We've got a bearish candle right now, but excuse me, in terms of the 3 EMAs, we have got still indication of an upward type movement, but you compare that with a 1 hour chart, you can see, yes, it's still on the strong side in terms of upward movement. But then if you look at this one here, the candle itself is a pin bar candle. Okay, it's got a very long wick to the upside, meaning it's weakening. When you see the wick to the upside, that means the upside is weakening and coming downwards. Okay, because you've got not enough participation, and the buyers are already exhausted, and that's why you see this happening. Then you compare the 1 hour chart with the 4 hour chart. Now, overall, yes, you've got upward type movement. You've got a trend to be biased to the upside for CAD CHF. But in terms of timing, whether you need to buy right now, it's very risky, okay? Because it might actually reverse. We've also got that pin bar type candlestick pattern right there, showing us that it might not be able to go up too much because of the wick. Okay, remember the wick. If the wick is, the longer the wick to the upside, the weaker the upside is. Okay, so then you go on here, you can see some more wick right there, not very long as the 1 hour chart and the 4 hour chart, but there is a potential right there. So now as we get that idea, straight away you can also see that there's some entanglement and not very confident the way the 3 lines are moving as well. Then what you can do next is, let's get this one away, is look to the left and look at your current price, and you can see that you definitely have got some resistance in this area. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and you want to look at the current price, and you want to look at whether or not you've got any significant fall. Okay, you've got some significant fall of CAD CHF in this area here, but this area here is a consolidation area. Okay, so that means you've got all these candles right here going sideways, right? So what I would usually do is I will group them up together horizontally and just draw a sort of a sideways type. Many candles touch the lower yellow line, and many candles touch the upper line as well. So I just want to put it like this. Okay. So you've got a bit of a range. Now, that range is where the price is currently trapped in. It's between 0.7480 psychological level, or better if we put it at 7500. Let me just put it at 85, 75. Yep, 7500. Okay, so a 7500. Put it like that. Then you have 7420 right here. Okay. It could also be 7450 actually. That's 7450 psychological level. It's nice when you have the 2 lines on psychological level to be, to have the current price right in the middle like this. Okay, this is better. So you have a good proportion of the price, current price to the upper psychological level, current price to the lower psychological level. Okay, but that is on the daily chart. So that area is, yeah, it's about 50 pips, right? So yeah, about 51 pips. So we've got that area there. So now, in order for CAD to tell us that yes, you've got a buying opportunity, it needs to firstly break out from the 75.00. And I usually don't buy straight away because usually it needs to confirm to me that the market wants to go up more by going up, piercing through, breakout, come back a little bit to the point of breakout, and then start to go up again. And that is when you can get better confident level if you do that. If not, then you need to ask yourself whether you are willing to be on a float. So this is why traders usually they get into floating as well when they go in a little bit too fast, too early when upon the breakout. So breakout trading, yes, they usually trade upon a breakout, but not trade immediately after a breakout occurs or happens. Okay, they usually wait until it goes up and then come down just to confirm that that is where the point they want to go up again, just to, you know, to correct. And anything that you correct first will always be stronger and going back to the original direction. So that is simply physics in a way. So this is what the market does as well in terms of price action when they break out of certain levels. So here, for example, at 7500, what I can then do is to look at pending orders on the 7510 and above. But I want to be sure whether or not in this area here, above the 7500, is it a very good buy zone? Okay, so I go onto my 4-hour chart, let's say, and I want to zoom out and I want to go to the left. I cannot go to the left too much with my 4-hour chart, so I go on to the daily chart. Now on the daily chart, yes, we've got some burst to the upside, right, from the upper yellow line. But I would like to look at whether or not I have got a single bullish candle that breaks out from that upper yellow line. So we've got a few. We've got one here I see. So I want to mark it. That bullish single mother candle has actually, I'll color it blue, has actually ended here. Okay, so we've got one that pierces through but ended there. I'm looking for more that started there. Now we've got another one that pierces through and it ended up a little higher there. Okay, right? It finished there. Then we've got another one that goes a little bit lower than the one that I've drawn initially. Okay, you got another single mother candle there. Another mother candle. Do we have another mother candle? We've got some that went, but really short as well. We've got one that went up to that area there. Okay, so yes, one went up quite significantly strong, but went and ended up there. Okay, and then we look at any more and we don't find it so much anymore. Okay, and that's based on the daily chart. Now if I go on and okay, just to give you an indication, what I've just done is to give you an idea that if the price starts to go up much more and breaks out from the 7500, it might actually reach in that area. So in my idea, it's probably best for you to, yes, you can participate in the buy or a pending order for CAD CHF at 7510. All right, at 7510, but then you need to exit at 7540. So that's a 30 pips potential right there. Okay, so you do have some 30 pip potential on a pending order CAD CHF, and it's actually quite safe as well. So you can do your stop loss, let's say 60 pips or 50 pips, entirely up to you. All right, so that you don't get stopped out too fast as well, to give you a bit of a room. So you can actually, if you're willing to lose about 50 to make that 30, considering that is where the market wants to give you a little bit of profit. It's not ready to give you the profit very big or 100 pips and all that. It's not there in the market. When you look left, you didn't see the participation of traders to buy a lot and then go up from there and have all these very long candles, right? So all the candles were actually limited in this area here, the blue line. So they finished at these blue lines. So you need to finish at the blue lines as well. So this is what it means. So when you look left, you use the previous price action and candles as a reference point for you, because you need to have the market give you what it wants to give you. Okay, so we cannot expect 100 pips if there is no 100 pips in the past in that area or in that zone. Okay, hope that makes sense. So that's your CAD CHF. Now I want to also go back into the Action Forex website and go on to the action bias right here. Now action bias also could give you a little bit, it's like a heat map. It gives you, whether or not you have got the whole row here, all red with arrow down or all blue from the first column right to the fourth column, because they represent the 1 hour chart, 6 hour chart, daily and the weekly chart. So far, I don't see any straight rows. All the columns are filled up with one color. I am not seeing that. So it's not really that obvious to have any good opportunity. But then on the short term, on the 1 hour, we do have most of the pairs against the JPY to actually be quite bullish. So that would actually be maybe better for scalper intraday or very short-term traders to actually look at that. But for myself as a trend trader, I need to make sure that I've got a marathon of trend that lasts from the 1 hour right to the weekly chart, let's say. Okay, so that would then give me more data to understand that the trend is really strong. And if the trend is really strong, then you can actually see clearer patterns as well. Then you can pick which time frame you want to trade based on which time frame you want to trade. Okay, so any questions so far, guys? You guys are okay? Any questions at all? No? Questions on your trades before we go on to GBP USD? We'll take a look at GBP USD, analyze it a little bit better. Here, for example, on my news source, it's also confirming about what have actually happened in the European trading session. It says that the Ristone is tentatively leaning to risk on, so that means they are being more cautious. They have the risk on, they want to take the risk basically, but that's on the Asian session. So now in the European session may actually change a little bit on the European crosses. When you hear the word antipodians, all it means is Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. Okay, maybe something new we learned today. Antipodians currency, because sometimes maybe you hear it over the news and you might not understand or know what were they referring to. So in this case, usually it's referring to the Australian dollar or the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so here this is the other thing as well, is the antipodian are the safe haven currencies. CHF basically on the downside, followed by the JPY, another underperformer. Okay, so that is just to show you guys a little bit on the latest news that have actually just popped up as well. Another one that I like using sometimes is just to go on to the daily FX. Daily FX is run by IG Markets, of course, and just to take a look at what has actually been posted or published right here. So here, for example, if we look into what they are concerning about, as you can see the GBP here, GBP USD pushes higher. Okay, this one here, 11 a.m. my time here, roughly following the UK time as well. But here, crude oil, look, see, talking about the Suez Canal again, blockage. So gold may rise on US PCE data. So hence the reason they're expecting a bit of correction of the US dollar and maybe a chance to buy gold as well. As you can see at the very top here, you have got bullish on the gold, bearish on the GBP as well. So yeah, let's take a look at what is going on with the GBP USD on the technical side. Just want to clear off most of the lines that I already have here, so it gets a bit better. Okay. All right. So on the 4-hour chart, it doesn't look nice. You know, you don't have three EMA lines that are either going down like this or going up like that. It's not clear, it's not nice. And then on the 1-hour chart, we get it not too bad, but still something is going on. It's actually sort of giving us a bit of an indication that it's either uncertain or it's planning to do a bit of a correction or various things like that. So if I go onto the daily chart as well, it's just in a mess at the moment, the GBP USD. So GBP USD, not very, very clear. What about GBP CAD? Not looking good either on that, because what I usually do is save time by just looking at how the candles are reacting in 3 time frames on the based on the EMAs. Are the EMAs going down and then the candles are under all the threes, or if the EMA is going up, are the candles above all the threes? That's what I look at and see whether it matches on all 3 time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. If you do that, then you are picking trending pairs. Okay, so for me, I prefer to pick trending pairs. Like for example, this one here is for NZD USD. We've got questions. Okay. GBP Jpy. Yes, let's take a look at GBP Jpy right now. Good idea. GBP Jpy. Okay, potentially it'll be on the upside mainly because of the big weakness of the JPY. So here on the daily chart, we can see it's really nice. We've got bullish candles as well. We've got a majority of the candles are above all the 3 lines. 3 lines are moving really nice. This is an exemplary movement of the 3 lines going up. Okay, let's start off with the 30-minute chart. Let's see whether we can see a bit of a story. Now on the 30 minutes, it was not very clear in terms of the 3 lines. 3 lines are entangled, okay? And then we've got a bit of a pin bar type candle or reversal type candle pattern here with a long wick at the very top. Then we compare that to the 1-hour chart. You can see that it's again wicks up there as well. And then the 3 lines became a little bit mismatching with what you have seen on the 30 minutes. And then you go on to the 4-hour, again, you've got a bit on the upside bias, okay, but then we are looking at this area right now. Is it actually causing the pound to actually weaken against the JPY? Because JPY is really weak, so it's not very clear. But what's clear though, on the daily chart, it looks like it's got more room to the upside and it's favoring the upside. But the thing is that you need to understand it's on the daily chart. So what that means is that on the longer term, yes, it might want to correct to go up much more. So what would actually happen right now in the lower time frame before the daily chart? I would guess more correction to come down first, come down so that they can buy cheaper and then push the prices up for the longish, medium to long term type, because this is based on the daily chart. So the answer to your question is that yes, they are buying, but maybe on the how we call that, longer term. But at this moment of time, we need to ask ourselves whether or not it will be correcting. So from here in the 1-hour chart, for example, that upward type movement is all good and great. But then now look at the price on the right. On the right, you're looking at 150.72, which is very close to the 150.80 psychological level. So we want to mark that 80 psychological level right there, 80. Okay, so you know that it's really dangerous to buy more right now on the GBP JPY, mainly because of this, because it's approached the 150.80 psychological level, and then it didn't give you any candle, going up type candle, and it gives you candles that have got a longer wick at the top. So what does it mean? It means that the uptrend is actually weakening at this moment of time, based on the 1 hour chart. And then if you look to the left, you can see that you've got areas that are significant resistant area right here. So we draw it based on the highest body right there, one line, another line on the highest wick right there. So now you've got three lines right here from 150.94 right down to 150.80 to be your resistance zone. So that basically means high chances it'll start to reverse. Okay, so what I also do sometimes is just to make sure whether or not it has potential of reversal to the downside. I usually go on to the stochastics indicator right here, and just to look at whether or not there is a reversal. So how I use the stochastic is with the divergence, convergence, divergence to look at opposite. Okay, I will show you what I mean. Now here, for example, let's say we have got this area right here, and this area mirrors the peak here, right? On the stochastic mirrors this area right here, correct? So this area is this area here, and the current price here is this current price. Now, from this area to the current price is a slope going up, right? Now, here, from that same area roughly to the current price is a slope going down. So now we have divergence. Divergence means that the indicator, the stochastics that you see, and the current price on the candlesticks, they are opposite. They does not match. Okay, the slope is one on the price is on the upside, on the stochastics it's on the downside. What does that mean? That actually means that because there is divergence as opposites, that means we are expecting a reversal. So the original trend is an upward type movement, and to correct basically means it has potential to go down at this moment of time. Okay, so there you go. This is it. Another thing you can actually do as well is to draw trend line on your RSI. It's quite interesting. I do it from time to time, especially when market is like not very clear, and don't have clear trend. Then I use a little bit of indicator just to indicate to me, not to actually trade with it, just to confirm whether or not I should back out and not come into the trades at all, just until I find a more appropriate time to enter the market. So here, for example, I would go into your oscillators and go on to relative strength index and make sure your period is 5 right there, and then level, you don't need this level, go there. So here, for example, I would draw a trend line here based on the graph itself. Okay, so what that means is I can actually do this, just draw a trend line like this, and that gives me a bird's eye view of what potentially could happen. Now, whether or not this will come down a lot more could actually be determined by the RSI once the RSI breaks this line, this trend line that I have drawn on the RSI itself. So once this blue line comes down and breaks this yellow line, then I think it's got more possibilities to come down a lot more, just as an indication to show me that yes, the downtrend and the correction is getting stronger after it breaks. So for now, just with the single candle, not really very confident, because also if I use the RSI, is telling me that not yet to consider downtrend so strong yet until this blue line here on the RSI line actually breaks the yellow trend line that I have just drawn, because I've drawn it from the support here, support here, support here as well. Okay, so, or you can extend that lower, but okay, you've got some touch points here, not very strong. Let's see, do that roughly. Yeah, so that's your trend line. So I need that yellow, that blue line, sorry, to cut through and come under and the stronger it comes under the trend line, then you would actually see that reflected here with the candle as well going down more. Okay, so the other thing that you can also do is if you want to participate in the sell of GBP JPY, I know the question was on a buy, but it's not buy time now, it's reversal time most probably. So if we want to look at to the left, you want to look at whether or not you have selling power under this three lines at all to actually look into more selling opportunity as opposed to buying opportunity for the GBP JPY. So we don't have anything here. Let's see. Okay, it's not really clear, but I can see that the selling would only take place in this zone because you've got that long bearish mother candle there, another one here. So I will mark this area here and this area here only. Okay, so price went up, came down, up again, down, down here, up. So it's due to come down if it comes to this area right here. If it comes down lower and then touches 150.40 and go lower, then it's got a potential to mirror this candle and this candle here to come down to the 149.65 or 149.70 area. So you have got selling zone is about 50 to 70 pips selling zone here. This is your selling zone, not from here. So from here, no, it's not giving me any confidence yet, but the selling zones only from here. But what about your buying zone? Now here, we need to look at after the 150.93 area or 151.00 area and above, do we have bullish candle? Your buy zones, we don't see any buy zones here. We don't see any strong candles giving you good, nice potential single mother candle to the upside. You have one here, but do we have more? Because the more, the better. Okay, the more means that that's definitely an area that would actually be giving a lot of potential to the upside. So let's evaluate this area here. Do we have single body mother candles here? We have got something here, not too bad. We've got one right there. We've got another one here. So that ended up here for that one, and it's similar to that one here. So yes, you have some potential upward type movement after it breaks up. Okay, after it breaks out of the 150.93. So it's better to consider you're buying only at 151.10. Okay, and then you want to take profit 152.30 or so. So yes, but it's not happening just yet for both buy and sell opportunity, not just yet. Got to wait a little bit at the right price. So 151.10 would be better for the buy. 150.35 and under would be better for the seller. 150 for the sell, it has to actually be 150.40 and below, or 150.35. Yeah, 35, not 10. Buy 150.151.10. You got the buy price correct, but this sell price is 150.35 higher. Yeah. I think I may have got that a little bit wrong because yeah, you can choose that as well, that price, but the lower the better, just to confirm that it is definitely wanting to come down much more, you see. So yes, 150.35 and below, correct? Yeah, for your sell price. So the sell zone is 150.37 or 38 down to 149.65. That is your sell zone area. Okay, your buy zone area is 151.10 and above. 151.10 and above. There you go. All right, that's for GBP JPY. All good so far? Okay. There you go. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Any other instruments, or let's take a look at USD JPY. As I've mentioned, you have got this significant resistance area between 109.83 right down to 109.58. Okay, because we're mirroring that significant resistance zone area right there based on this fall. But we've got a lot of selling power for USD JPY. If it does, at this moment of time, it is also telling me that there may be a potential for reversal as well. So let's put the oscillator of stochastics right there and see whether or not we are seeing any potential reversal. Okay, so let's look at it. The chart maybe a little bit clearer. Excuse me for that. Okay, so here I think we are having a bit of a divergence as well, signaling reversal of the USD JPY. Now, this area, or let's say if it's this area here, let me check. That area right there, it's a slope down, okay? Because I don't see any slope down. So here, for example, this area here, this peak here on the RSI mirrors that area there, okay? Then the price, current price is there. So if I draw this, that's a slope up, okay? And that same area here, it's a slope down. So it's quite a clear divergence. So whatever that is going up right now, which is the USD JPY, because there's a divergence, it may reverse to the downside. So I just want to look at whether or not it's going to be reversing based on this significant resistance level. Okay, so that is your resistance level right there. There is a potential for it to come down. So, but whether or not there is a potential in terms of power to come down much more, we need to refer to the left and look at whether or not at that zone have we seen in the past a very strong or many strong bearish candle going down. And the answer to that is yes. We've got one here, boom, it came down and it landed, it finished or closed at the end of that body of the candle there at 108.40. Okay, and then this one here, it finished there, but this one here finished a little bit lower, which is a strong bearish candle there. So yes, we do have power. We do have power. We got another one right there as well for price to come down. So we may have a minimum correction move of USD JPY to fall for another, I would say about 100 pips. Okay, so there is a potential for USD JPY to fall, to correct itself for about 100 pips. So this is for you guys to consider closing or closing your trades early. That's entirely up to you. If you're already if you are buying but then you bought in earlier and then you are floating, that is the warning I have for you, is that it might actually fall to about 100 pips before it picks up again. So are you willing to lose that or lose less and close your trade now and then go into opposite direction and sell? For now, that's entirely up to yourself as well. Okay, so but for now it is actually showing more potential to the downside as a corrective move, I think. So the other thing as well is this very big fall right here. You can pull a Fibonacci from here, from top to bottom, just to also look into where price could fall. All these yellow horizontal line from the Fibonacci actually tells us where it could fall. So you can see that the price might go up and it will meet the 78.6%, and that is in the zone that we have drawn as well. So that is a very powerful area based on Fibonacci. 78.6, where price could potentially fall as well. So we are on the right track in terms of drawing that resistance zone. Okay, so if I pull this one and push it up a little bit right there and use this fall instead from top to bottom, you can see that it's right on the dot, 78.6 right there. So it's telling me that this zone has actually been drawn quite accurately as a very significant resistance zone that we have drawn based on this one here, this area of resistance. So yes, and then we double check that with the Fibonacci tool, and it's showing us that yes, it's got 78.6% resistance there. When I pull from here to here, I've got 78.6 very close there. When I pull from that to here as well, I get similar thing. So that is telling me that this area here for resistance is very, very strong. So we've got high potential of price reversing at any moment of time. And then we don't know what news might come up to, if the news that comes up just suddenly today, or maybe the economic calendar or the data from the economic data comes out negatively, or some negative news on the US and on the US dollar, then we might see a very big potential of the reversal, and the probability of it falling much more as well until it goes to this area is quite high. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions? You guys are okay? All good? Okay, guys, if you guys have got no questions, then I will end the session for today. And as our Friday market wrap up, we've got more in store for you from next week in terms of my frequency in giving you guys signals, and having more videos and things like that as well. This week, I've not seen really good chances in terms of trend trading side of it, but of scalpers, maybe intraday traders short term, they may have some better options or better opportunities, mainly because of the very volatile sideways movement for some currencies as well. Any questions, guys? No more questions? Then we can end the session or not? All good? No questions? Okay, guys, I think I'll end the session. Give me a second. Okay, good. All right, guys, I want to wish you guys happy pipping for the remaining hours that you guys have before the market closes. And meantime, enjoy your weekend and don't think about trading for now. Okay, so, okay, guys, take care, enjoy, and we'll see you guys again next week. And we shall ride along the trend again next week. Take care, guys. Have a brilliant weekend, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye.